So, surfers, tenham utilizado dessa zona e se gostariam do pico em si imediatamente. So, surfers, I really need that you leave immediately the competition area. So, please move to the beach. Immediately, please. Okay, so for the final and March, this final week, 35 minutes, okay? Put 35 minutes on the clock for this last week of Sata Airlines Azores Pro 2013. Muito obrigado aos que estavam aqui a divertirem-se no pico. Muito obrigado aos que fazerem esta trabalho. Por viva da grande, que sempre está o pico dos areais, sem dúvida. Aqui este ano, não sei se sabe o vivo, mas este estudante basal que está aqui foi os últimos, o que resta do último derrotado, do último vulcão de erupção e lava foi até o mar. Esta é a última mais recente. Então, sim, por isso a banhoca que vem aqui no ponto da ilha, a ilha está viva com certeza e o calor não está assim tão longe. Realmente são fenómenos relativamente recentes, em termos geológicos foram, nem ontem, foram há 2 meses atrás, que nós estamos a conhecer dentro da cratera do vulcão. O resto da cratera do vulcão, esses possíveis locais, ali ao fundo da praia temos o resto da cratera, mais ou menos continuamos a olhar uma medida lá fora, temos umas baixas também, já reduziu o resto da cratera, mas continuam lá, toda a mar grande, também está lá fora também, e dá a volta aqui toda. Portanto, estão a conhecer dentro da cratera do vulcão, que não é para todos. As coisas todas que nós vamos melhorar, para isso aqui da cratera do vulcão. Surface and heat, hold on to your positions.
Test 1 2, test 1 2.
Esta final para ter uma ideia, eu penso que com 6 pontos e o segundo vai ter 5 minutos. Se traduzido para lá, são qualquer coisa de 40 dólares a 20 dólares. Servers and leads, here we go. Counting to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's finally here. It took its time, but it's finally here. The last heat of the Sata Airlines Azores Pro, the 5th men's prime event of the season. It's quite an event. It has been quite a challenge for every surfer who competed on it. My name is Diogo Alpendre, with me Julian Vico Hamel, and we are about to start a final between these two men on your screen.
Adam Melling from Australia and Thomas Gilmes from Brazil. So, well, one last refugee from all the massive Brazilian contingent we had on the round of 16. Half of this round, so 8 surfers out of 16 were Brazilian. And eventually, well,
one of them made it to the final.
Yep, exactly. So massive surprise because this little guy in white went on to pretty much a killing spree when it comes to giants, as he kicked out Mr. Philippe Toledo and Mitch Cruz in these last two heats. He went on to beating twice Miguel Pupo, and just prior to this, he was quite discreet, going second on the whole first round and trying to peak progressively, which is a nice contest building. This guy in red, Adam Mailing, is a World Tour surfer. He's been struggling to maintain his slot, so he's trying to go back onto the QSN Primes to building more momentum on the second part of the season. Melo has been surfing versus Kolohe Andino in a really interesting semi-final, who went down to last second. So he bet brother before he bet CJ Hubgood, so he was on the first part of the draw, which was exclusively composed of World Tour surfer. And upping the score, Tomas Hermes from Brazil, small, compact surfer, two really different surfers. Diogo, one is really small, compact, dynamic. The other one is Adam Milling, used to surf the long point breaks of Lennox Head. The closer thing to a Mick Fanning when it comes to style and fast and sharp surfing. Different kind of surfing. Melo has been getting more scores since the beginning of the event on his backhand. Tomas has been surfing as well, better on his backhand, but right now the tide is still pushing in, the swell is decreasing, the wind that way, which is a good thing, but sadly not that many waves. And on the last heat we had between Cruzy and Tomas, it was quite a long, lully heat. And right now these guys need to sit tight. We still remain with 30 minutes heat time, and these two guys are battling out for one single slot as the prime event winner.
Yeah, and it will sure be quite a heat, because just like you said, Tomas has been playing more of a discreet game, but eventually making it to the final, and Adam Melling has been posting some high scores, took down Kalohi and Dino on a high score affair in the semi-finals, and Thomas Hermes was a close heat with Mitch Cruz, who we just saw during the break was still hitting himself for losing that one. So it's definitely going to be a challenge. We just hope that the waves come and break for these two surfers to perform their best surfing in this contest so far, and eventually be the new winner of this Azorean event, who has been happening for the last 4 years. This is the return of it as a prime, and it sure is a prime event. And one thing to keep everyone and to remind everyone is that the winner of this event is going to take the lead at the Mosh Cities Cascais Trophy, and will take first place for the next two events that are the Mosh Cities Cascais Trophy. And the eventual winner of his best two results out of the three events, 2 out of 3, will get $5,000.
That's pretty cool, knowing that in this triple crown of surfing, one of the events is a CT, which means that this guy in white is not on the CT, but as it's 2 out of 3 best results, if he does good in the last event of the month of October in Cascais Carcavelos, will still have a slot at winning the event. Don't count out Mitch Cruz, is also on the third place of this event. And then we have a lot of surfers from the World Tour who went down on the last 6 seats today, all the quarters and the semis. So we have plenty of World Tour surfer. And World Tour surfer that's Adam Melling, first off the bottom to form climb, and just not getting any kind of opportunity on this wave, as a set is popping out, and we have the whole Brazilian contingent just like whistling big time. So maybe we have little option coming up. Right now it will be a replay of surfer in white, so I think he just took the wave at the same time, because we have no split screen. Nice first snap of the leap for little Tomas Hermes. Second foam climb to re-entry, trying to punch his way onto this last closing meters of this second section. Beam! Again a strong turn, and he's happy, claimed his way back to this wave, as Melo just went straight onto the right hand side, and sadly was not with a lot of potential. We will have, I think, a strong opening score to back up the 2 points of Tomas Hermes.
Yeah, Tomas getting the better on that exchange, and he has been doing this all week long, picking the best waves and going ham on his backhand, doing some really good contest surfing, playing it smart, and eventually winning heats and making it to the final. I sure agree with you. I think it's going to be a good score to back up that 2.00, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tomas went on to post some more big scores in this heat. We'll have to see what Adam Melling has prepared for us as he's about to stand up. Take us through it, Vico.
And watch out, Melo on the left-handers. He's been lethal all the event. Nice backside foam climb to rock slide re-entry. Goes slightly, maybe not with enough speed to get out of this maneuver. Let's check maybe another angle of the last of Melo's. He's going on the first little snap on the top, boom, and just because the wave is closing out, he needs to get something done, so he's going all the way up and down, but sadly I think it takes a little too much time to get out of the foam, especially when the judges have still in fresh memories his semi-final bout versus Colohan, when he went properly bananas on left-handers, so they still have in mind the high 9s and 8s that Melo has had on the left-handers, and will obviously compare this to what happened. Same goes for Thomas Hermes. He's been surfing on the low scoring hit with a lot of lulls that we were just saying before against Cruzy, and couldn't really express his surfing, so it's pretty much back to basics for little Thomas Hermes, as he was surfing strong versus Felipe Toledo, again as you were saying, with a strong hit management, smart surfer. He looks like an accountant actually, like small, composed, polite, with little glasses. Doesn't look like you're a former proper high, all tattooed, blondie extreme surfer. He's just calm and composed, and it paid off quite a lot for Thomas Hermes. 717 for his second wave, really good range, and 3 points for Melo, so he was not getting the second maneuver of his last wave completed. Right now, Melo is without parity, searching for a 618.
Yeah, it was a good start for Thomas Hermes on the final heat of this event, 5th prime event of the season. And if he eventually wins this event, and already with this result, Thomas is gonna jump dramatically in the rankings of the man world rankings, which means that with some more solid results this year, he might be in contention for qualification. So Thomas, this event is definitely a turning point in his
career. I would say career, because he just went out of nowhere. We are all used to the same names pretty much when it comes to contest surfing. We have, of course, all the big guys on the World Tour and the Prime events, and a few up-and-comers like Jan Gouveia, who had a good run as well in Lacan on the 5 stars. And Thomas Hermes has been quite under the radar, doing his own little thing with his website, Thomas Hermes TV, and he's up and riding. Boom! We're gonna see, I think, on replay how he's preparing both of his arms to have a late but massive torque. That's really good surfing from Thomas, because he was late on this wave and actually threw the best he could, and eventually at the end of this event he will get, I think, the best waves scores out of impossible maneuver, because he was all the time quite late but could eventually spring back off from the bottom to hit the lip in the right tempo and coming back with proper gusto and forte by the end of the wave, getting back with speed, control and power. So that's good for I think Thomas Hermes, and he's building momentum. Plenty of time for him to grow. He's gonna build a strong seeding, because he's going out of this event with, I think, a big jump of like maybe 40 to 50 slots on the one we're ranking. It's massive.
Massive. He was what? 121.
121st. It was the 5th lowest ranked surfer of the whole event. Didn't actually was supposed to be getting in the event. Eventually went in as an alternate, and well, you go from alternate to finalist against a World Tour surfer. That's quite a jump and quite a gap to pretty much fly your way around. And Thomas stays confident right now, and opposed to him, Adam Melling in search of a good result, but still already with a minimum of 5,200 points, he will be more confident for the second half of the year.
Yeah, Adam Melling, he sure is taking his time to find his feet on the tour and find his place. He has had some massive scores and hits during his time on tour. I remember that that event where Fiji broke pretty much huge, and Adam was one of the few surfers that actually had to surf those conditions prior to the event cancellation or pause. And Adam sure has had a tough time on tour, but he wants to stay on tour. And a proof is that he keeps on going to these prime events, keeps on doing the whole CT and prime thing in order to get good scores, in order to get his confidence back, and eventually some good points to be in contention to stay on tour and to requalify if ever drops. So for Adam, The thing is remaining on tour and eventually requalify. For Tomas, is obviously the qualification, but also coming of age of him. He's 27, 28, but he's already, you know, turning some heads with his performance in this event, and he went for broke on that one.
Yeah, frontside blotte layback to late recovery, but sadly goes undone. Again, two different strategies are as Tomas is trying to get as many waves as he can, which is somehow maybe paying off because he was a little late on this one, and obviously the second one was just too strong compared to the wave's power. But we know the tide is pushing in, we know the swell is decreasing, so you need to stay active. Melo right now is on a 2 bad wave of 3 points and 1, 2, 3, so plenty of time though, but we know that more and more we are advancing in the day and less we have waves and consistency when it comes to sets and scoring potential on these little inside runners. The tide has been pushed a little more than 2 meters today, and we are still not high yet. So it's 1:46 local time, we are GMT -1. And this is a nice little show for all these people around at the lunch break, just having a few local fish and watching the best surfers in the world battling out in their local sports. Melo is right now second, and Tomas Jelmesh still being active. Oh, nice
turn.
wrap around, carve at the top to foam bounce for Tomas Jelmesh, and he's just pumped up. He wants some more waves, he wants some more potential so he can express and win this thing, because check the replay. He's a little further on the west side of this peak. Nice wave entry and strong carving of the top, bouncing off the foam to get more momentum, and then sadly there's nothing after. So you may want, as a judge, to score more of the first section, because eventually we may not have the long runners we had earlier because the tide is too high.
Yeah, and Tomas Hermes is definitely playing active game. He has been doing this all week long, and it's no surprise that this young man, this short man, is, doing it again in the final. And for Adam Melling, Adam is a surfer that has been coming here to the Azores for a long time, has had one of the best waves ever in competition here, a 10-point ride 2 years ago for one of the most perfect barrels that a lot of people here have seen live, and it was and sure was an amazing things to see. And going back a little to one thing you were saying, it's massive the fact that these people get the opportunity to watch some of the best surfers in the world live and surf their waves. First, because they get their imagination for what's possible on a wave broadened, and other thing is that you can definitely see, if you come here, you can definitely see how these guys influence surfing. These kids, prior to these events, were not super surfy. We're not into surf brands. We're not concerned about surfing. That was not one of their major interests. And when the girls, because this event also had a 6-star event for the girls, and the men started coming here and surf these waves, suddenly it was like a brand new world for a lot of the young kids, and you can definitely see the influence of the girls coming here and in the young girls who surf and live here in the island, and also for the young guys and young boys who are now starting their teenager life and are discovering the magic of surfing. So it's really interesting. And this is Tomas Hermes.
Yep, going fast on this wave, going for a full frontside 180, just I think lands a little much on the flats and without no rebound. So right now he is without priority, trying to, well, do what he can. He's been quite active, only 2 waves for Melo and 6 already for Tomas Hermes.
He was almost...
half rotation. I think he eventually saw that he was going too much to the flat and just stopped the torquing of his upper bodies. Eventually the board just stopped turning and you just flatten on the top part of the wave. Right now, Melo is with priority. Adam Melling was on a nice little rhythm during this contest. He got first already on his first round versus guys like Yadi Nicol and Carlos Munoz and Odell Coliato, which is already a good, strong first round win. Then got second with one of the event surprise, Ryan Kalinen, but in front of David Cathels and Corey Arambidi from the US of A. Then went only to win his heats versus Peterson Crescento and Marco Fernandes, 2 really dangerous Brazilians. He got first easily on the round of 24, which, being a no-losers round, pushed him straight into the round of 16. where he was against again Marco Fernandez. So boom, twice for Melling against Marco, and eventually went on to Mr. CJ Hopgood in a nice little quarter-final number 2 this morning. Not that many waves though. Went to win this one, and I think so far the most exciting heat was the first semi-final opposed to Brother Andino. Both surfers on really a wide spectrum of different ranking places right now, but eventually on the dying seconds, Melo got the best out of these last few left-handers we had before it was too high, and got to qualify versus this guy in white, Tomasz Jeremic, now trying to better a 3.4 as he's already in a 7.17, and this wave only could make him win the final, because as we've been saying since the beginning of the day, the tide is pushing in, the swell is dying, you need to stay active from the beginning, Diogo.
Yeah, for the beginning, there are not many opportunities, so you don't have many room for mistakes and not even many room to catch a lot of good waves. That's why Tomasz has been keeping himself busy, because you're not really sure how many opportunities and good opportunities there will be, and sometimes those little inside runners might turn into a good opportunity, so that's what Tomasz has been doing. And if you are wondering what's that little yellow thing on the top left side of your screen, that's the Portuguese Triple Crown called Mosh Sirius Cascais Trophy. Triple Crown, who, just like the Hawaiian one, has 2 primes and a One World Tour event. This is the World Tour. This is the World Tour. This is the prime event, and that was Adam Melling wasting his priority on a very bad wave that I think Tomasz sold him, which was very interesting to see, and I would love to watch the replay, because Tomasz has been doing this for a long time in this contest, and again selling Adam on a wave, just like he did with Mitch Cruz on the second semi-final.
Yeah, Mitch Cruz really lost this last heat, second semi-final, only by his own mistake. So of course, when it comes to man-on-man heats, you need to get into account the other guys with the other Rashi willing to actually go against you and in front of you. But eventually, Mitch had twice the opportunity to get and keep his priority, and eventually just lost it twice in a row. And that's Melo, first snap of the top, way more extension, and this is what you need to understand right now with this kind of weak session. You get to actually have only one massive opportunity to get the turn. Then the second one is just pure luck. Off the bottom to snap on top, nice extension. This turn only is already fantastic, but sadly pushes a little too hard and gets his toes off the grip type. So sadly, Melo will not get the 688 he was looking for. May he had nailed this second turn, it will be a little easier, but behind there's a set coming, Diogo, and this is Tomasz Jeremic on his front side. First little float side re-entry, second foam climb to snap off the top, a cut back Rio to get the foam bounce, and I don't think the wave will push all the way to inside. If it is, he needs to go strong behind the rocks. Yep, the seats need to bunny hop the last one because it's really close on the shore, and all the Brazilians are just rooting from him from the contest side. You're gonna see the replay of this last of white on the different angle. That's nice first extension, lands perfectly. Second foam climb to off the top, which is hard to do on this kind of wave. Then still find the time to arch his way around this flat section, and check this out. Now it bumps onto the inside section, so the wall tends to be better, but check where the rocks are. Just at the end, you can't go further or you just flat your face off,
and you wouldn't want that. And meanwhile, the Brazilian crew here in the surfers area does a lot of noise, a lot of whistling, and that must stress the opponent, who is not Brazilian in the water. That's Adam Melling, who has his own crew close by too. Adam Melling obviously being very supported by the Australian crew, and obviously by his teammates who are heavily here, a lot of teammates. And it's definitely interesting for Adam how he will respond, answer back to the last wave of Tomasz Jeremic, which was a 5 points. And Tomasz sitting on a 717 and a 5 is in a very strong position. And Adam Melling with a 3.7 and a 3, needing an 847, is not on a really good position right now.
He's not, but the good thing though is that when you just try to dissect a little more the scoreline, Last of white is a long wave with plenty of different turns, gets average score 5 points, a flat 5. One of the judges saying 4.5, like under average. Melo's wave gets one good turn, sadly just loses back foot on the second turn, gets 3-7, but gets a judge putting 4.3, which is for them, between one massive turn and plenty of different one on a smaller wave, there's less than 1 point of difference for one of the judges, which means that at one point, I think the message from the head judge is like quality versus quantity, and this is on a better side for him. That's what the judges are looking for. Too strong turn for Tomasz Hermes, trying to connect on the inside. As you can see, it's getting flat. He needs to connect for one last turn if he wants to finish strong. And look at this pocket surfer all the way till the cliff, and that's an interesting wave. I think he should be bettering his 5 point just from an inch, but check this out from maybe another angle. The first turn is good. He's arching really good, and the torque of his body is good. Second one is not fantastic because he's just losing twice his momentum and his control, but still eventually recovers from this and tries to get momentum on the inside all the way. So that's an interesting wave, but again, when you compare the quality of the turn, Melo's wave was slightly bigger, the turn was slightly stronger, and got only one turn, 3.7. Just before this one, Tomasz was going on the right and tried to surf a lot of turn, not with the best result ever, 5 points. So we're gonna have to see what the judges reckon. I think that because he had one strong turn and then a couple of small ones with some losses of control, this should not be his best wave.
Yeah, and it might not be, which... oh, it was actually a 4.4.
Yep, exactly.
Doesn't go on too much top two waves, which means that situation for Adam Melling pretty much is the same, with 8.47 in is the requirement for a first place move, and there are opportunities there, but doing an 8.47 is nothing. Is no easy task.
No, but it's that 8.47, and for you guys watching and not really used to contest surfing, 8.47 is a requirement he needs as a 20-point combo, 2 waves out of 10. So at one point, he's sitting right now on a 3.7 and a 3.0, which means that if ever he gets a wave and gets a 6 or 7, he will lower his requirement for the second wave and eventually will need an average score. Because right now, Tomasz Hermes is on a 7.17, which is a really good range score, and a 5 point, which is average. So his overall score is 12.17, which is pretty much too average to good wave for Melo. He can do it. The only right now enemy is not white or red to each other, it's the ocean and the tide, because as you can see, it's really close. That's our judges here. From left to right we have Jeff and Mikel, and the other one we can't see them because you see there's little walls
Ben.
and separations in between
Ben.
every judge, so they can't see what they are judging.
It's Jeff, Mikel, Ben, Dylan, I think, and Luis. So a lot of World Tour judges in there.
Exactly, Jeff from America, Mikel Zaken from the Basque Country, and Ben Lowe from Australia, Luis Diaz from Brazil, and Dylan is
American.
from the US of A. The head judge is Ian Buchanan from New Zealand, former European head judge, and is your current World Junior Grandmasters.
Junior?
I said junior. Did I? He's not really a junior. He's still frothing like a grommet though. But
yeah, he's frothing
right,
like
so he's a World Grandmaster. World Junior Grandmaster means nothing. I'm sorry for the hiccup. 10 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Right now in the lead, the guy on the left, white Tomasz Hermes, and just that's Adam Melling with priority. So Tomasz is pushing him into taking the wave, and that's job's done for Melo. One first snap on top, and sadly, this is a corner we were talking about
wave
before.
choice.
Well, he needs to stay active, and he's right now not really happy with what's happening to him, as it showed this wave which looked okay at the beginning, and eventually just bumped onto the inside sandbank. Nice backside lip climb to off the lip re-entry, but sadly goes down on the second, so it won't be what he's looking for. 2.8, not even getting into his two best. He wants to get 8.47 with two bad scores on his scoreline.
Yeah, and who benefits from this little mistake by Adam Melling is Tomasz Hermes, who is sitting out the back with first place and priority, which is a really, really good thing to have right now, although it might pressure you and get in your head the priority thing, which is interesting. But meanwhile, let's hope that something more comes for both Adam and Melling, for both Adam and Tomasz, not Adam and Melling, that's the same person. But Certainly an interesting heat so far, with unfortunately some bad wave choices by Adam and some really smart ones by Tomasz. And Tomasz, with 10 minutes to go, is already following Adam all over the lineup.
Yeah, well, the thing that right now the guys are quite desperate for waves, and eventually if one guy is going one way, well, maybe there's an option there because you can't see anything. And I was just having a look during the break at the judges' tower, and they're just sitting pretty much above the contest site wave, which means that it gets to see a really flat angle. So the guys do know exactly when the guy are actually going down off the bottom and snap off the top, because they can see a proper difference with having this kind of weird angle of like diving into the ocean. When it was going onto the low tide, the guys do get a better, wider angle. But when it comes to precise surfing and how come the surfers get score with 2 or 3 points of difference, just because the judges want some proper off the bottom to off the top, and they can see much better with this angle. That's Melo on the first snap of the top, second one trying to get one last turn, but sadly not the best wave again. Still maybe one of his two best, and just behind Tomasz Jeremeš with priority, just kicking out and trying to pedal, and there's a little set coming, so we're gonna see who's gonna be out there, because one fit surfer is Adam Mailing.
Yeah, and that was a weird way for the Australian. His body language was a bit, not as happy as it should. And
nice ball placement there. And
Yeah.
check the second turn, which is by far the best one off the bottom to snap off the top. Such a technical surfer, because this is hard for him to maintain momentum on this flat section. Sadly goes down again, and White just behind was trying to get momentum. One first turn, checked Adam Mailing down the line, and just like, okay, I'm going straight back into priority, because we are entering the last 7 minutes and 25 seconds, and these two guys are paddling back, and I think that White just got priority, as last of Red will get into his two best, only with this turn, 3.63, still again a bad score, and needs 8.47. Last of White, 8th throw of 2.13, so situation remains the same. White in the lead, second is Red, and White is with priority.
White is with priority and the win, which is super, super interesting, because I feel like I'm repeating myself, but Tomasz, if he eventually goes out to win this event, he won it out of his brain. He did some amazing surfing, that's not in question, but what's really in question is how smart moves can get you in a really nice place and in a really, really cool, get you a really, really cool result. So, Tomasz, this is a groundbreaking event for his career, just like you said before, Vico. And he was not an aspiring qualifier this year. He was sitting 121 and 121st. And Tomasz winning will get him 6,500 points and $40,000, which is massive for a surfer.
If he does win this event, or if he gets second, because the point difference is not that big between first and second, it's a prime event, so both surfers reaching the finals are already going to get some good points. So if you get first, 6,500. If you get second, 5,250. If he gets first or second, he will go from 121st on ranking to the top 40.
Top 40, that's
already.
Contention.
He's going to go trade to pretty much between 7,000 and 8,000 points, which is already good. It's still halfway through the cut. If we do try to think that cut will be around 16,000 points, still he's going from 2,000 to pretty much 4 times more in one event, with still 3 prime events to go. So contest-wise, he will remain in Portugal, maybe go back home for a little celebration. 40 grand for Brazilian surfers as well as global surfers when it comes to sponsorship is really important when it comes to get some money and budget to travel. So maybe we'll just try to go back home to his little family and girlfriend, go back then to Portugal, and it's a good thing as well. These guys, Brazilians, are surfing in the Azores, which is a Portuguese island, and then the second event will be in Portugal. So there's a comfort of the language. The cultural is quite close to what you're living at home, so it gets a little edge at one point for these guys who feel comfy and eventually advance without pressure, because this is what he was doing all week, just trying to let his surfing talk and just trying to remain calm, cool and collected, choosing the best waves, putting the pressure when it's needed, right now. He knows there's no waves coming or really few ones, and he's just following Melo like his own shadow.
And one really interesting and curious thing is that if Tomas wins this event, and we'll get back to that, this is
Melo
Adam Melling
on the
up and riding.
off the bottom to first Melo turn off the top. That's a really hard turn to do on this one. Oh, excellent bottom turn to frontside snap. And the game is on for Melo because he's back with the 3-turn combo for sure. We're going to check on the replay how important is the bottom turn of this second maneuver as maybe a pop of the ocean. Still, check the bottom turn of second maneuver. That's first Melo turn, frontside carve on top to snap to foam bounce, and second we can't see with this person, but boom, another strong turn, and just trying to put his back knee in the middle of the board so he can remain with the control and the body weight in the middle of the board, and this will be a good score for Melo. Just behind Tomas Hermes, that's the replay as well. One first foam climbing to snap, just a little loss of control, and he actually lost the heel contact on his back foot, so went off balance. Will be paddling out straight away to the outside, just checking the guys real time if they are giving priorities, and it seems that as people are yelling in front of us, the priority is not given yet, and Melo and White are just in a battling position. It thinks body language is quite negative, so it seems that Melo got the priority.
I think they were just asking for the judges to give priority to someone because they took their time giving priority.
You need to be able to reach the braking zone, which has been a lot moving during the last few heats. Still, seeing that's a
5.4 for the last of Adam Melling, so his requirement is now 6.78, which is a much better and faster and easier score to get. And priority is with Tomas, so Brazilian crew happy. And I was about to say that if Tomas goes on to win this event, it's going to be the third Brazilian winning this event out of 4 years.
Yeah, only CJ got
Willian
the win.
Cardoso, CJ Hobgood, Messias Felix, and eventually Tomas Hermes or Adam Melling, which is
Plenty of time as Melo got the edge on brother Colhe and Dino in the last few seconds of the heats. Everything moved in proper rhythm as a proper heat in the last pretty much 3 minutes. So we're gonna see what's going on right now. Not a lot of bump on the ocean, but Melo is without priority and he needs a 6.78. He scored 6.73 out of 2 turns this morning. So that's just what he needs right now, but without priority, he wants to get a little sneaky insider or just trying to push away. Reckon that Tomas Hermes will try to put a lot of pressure on him and avoid him to get this wave as he was awarded with priority.
And in the surfers area, young Brazilian surfer Jean Belo is just saying acaba, 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 which means end, come to an end, come to an end, come to an end. They just want the heat to be over so that they have their friend Brazilian Tomas Hermes as the winner of this 5th prime event of the season, the Sata Airlines Azores Pro, presented by Sumo.
1 minute to go, Diogo. Nothing done. And I can see a little bump on the outside. This is a Santa Barbara beach with a big accent on the first A from the contest side view. And there's a little bump, but I just think the guys are too much on the east side. And check Melo by himself. That's interesting because Tomas was with priority.
And now is Adam up and riding.
First snap on the top, little dig. He needs to get on the inside. The step is just behind his board. Now he's going back. He needs to go big. Boom! Frontside layback re-entry to snap. It's complete, but I think that's just behind.
It's 6.78. I don't think so. And he even threw down a claim for the judges. And Brazilian surfers are starting to celebrate. Look at that. And eventually Tomas Hermes will start to celebrate too in the water. And there he goes. This might be his lap of victory. 5 seconds to go. He's up and riding, and look at him. He knows he's got it.
3.5, not enough. Tomas Hermes is your new prime event in the Azores. Winner and champion. Melo got second. Still solid points for Melo and good results for this young Australian trying to maintain, and he will maintain himself on the World Tour with such good results if he does continue to do this. That's the last of Adam Melling trying to get the best, and eventually got scored 3.5 for this turn. I think the judges didn't try to... Yeah, this one was quite complete. and it was not
3.5.
a 6.78. So official results: this guy in red, second. Tomasz Elmes is your new Azores Sata Airline Prime Event Pro 213. I think for Mrs. Felix, it's less bitter to lose early in the rounds, as his good buddy Tomasz Elmes is now your champion. He's stoked. That's the best. He's praying. That's the best victory moment of his career, and not the youngest surfers, but by far, around all these heats, one of the most composed and smart when it comes to choosing his wave and playing with priorities and what he was to do on each of his backside and frontside turns.
And if you told me at the beginning of the week that a surfer placed 121st in the ranking would end up winning this prime event, I would have said that you're mad and you're crazy. But that's the beauty of these prime events, and that's how things can happen, and that's the beauty of it all. And those are Jesse Mendes and William Cardoso going to meet Tomás Hermes. I just hope they don't put him on his shoulders, on their shoulders, on the rocks, because that would be quite
maybe
dangerous.
William gonna just like take him in his hand, just like send it off off the rocks.
That was quite a win for the young Brazilian. I'm sure his family, his wife is tuning in, so congrats to everyone at Brazil and everyone in Tomás family. All the Brazilian crew is there, and look at that. They are so happy for him.
Watch out, because you can sometimes die from high-fiving. So watch out, Thomas. Just don't be too happy. No, that's fantastic from Thomas, and that was Messias Felix for the 212, actually, event champion who went to high-five. Thomas is your new Brazilian champ. As you were saying, Diogo, a lot of Brazilian winning this Portuguese event in the Azores, and that's great for Thomas because he was looking for results, and 6,500 points, 40 grand of the prize money, and he will jump straight into a possible really nice and comfy place for the rest of the year. Still plenty of time to decide about who's going to be on the 214 qualification for the World Tour, but still a nice effort from Tomasz Hermes, going from 121st to the top 50, even maybe top 40.
Yeah, it's a crazy event for Tomás, and it's amazing to, just like I said, it's the beauty of it all, and it's amazing to see how things and how fast things change. I'm not sure what happened there. Maybe something went on to under some rock or something, and these are the unofficial but pretty much official results from this final of the Sata Airlines Azores Pro 2013 presented by Sumol. Tomás Hermes from Brazil, wearing white, took the win with a 12.17 total over Adam Melling from Australia, wearing red with a 9.1 total. It was quite impressive, not really expected, but it's so cool to see.
That's a good and all the story of the underdogs. You just don't see them coming, and boom, here they come. In the other side, because it was such a small and slow heat, and the scoring is just really average, 12.17 against 9.1. Adam Melling got 9 points on his last wave on the previous heat against Kolohe, so that's how bad the condition went, but eventually they're the winner, and it was the smallest one on these hits when it comes to shooting and getting the parties. Melo will get 5,250 points, which means that he will push to a 12,000 point mark. So he will jump straight maybe to a top 18, top 20. Plenty of time to see, and this is your champion, held by Jesse Mendes and William Cardoso all the way till the presentation stage, as he's a happy camper right now. Plenty of points, solid money, high-fiving his way around, and that's Tomás Hermes from Brazil. Quite unknown surfer when it comes to the world scene, and just making a big effort in a really packed surfers when it comes to quality and World Tour surfers on this event. A lot of CT guys, and eventually only one in the final. So it shows that Prime event are in a good, I think, place when it comes to the qualification race. It's anyone's game, and it was this boy on the throne right now. That's Tomás Hermes.
And that's the stage where the presentation will soon happen. Look how happy the man is. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better contest for him.
Tomás is just all smile, and I think that there will be some massive celebration and Brazilian flag waving in the air for the next 24 hours. And
watch out, Ponta Delgado, they're coming for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I can see a big flag from the Mosh sponsor, which means that right now these two guys will be with quite a big advance on the Mosh series, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, just like we said before, this is the first stop of the Portuguese Triple Crown, known as the Mosh Cities Cascais Trophy. It has 2 prime events and 1 city event. The city event is the Peniche one, and the Cascais one is the other prime event, which is new this year. And Tomás Hermes now in the lead. For the win, it's the sum of the 2 best results out of 3. And Tomás Hermes is now in contention to win an extra prize of $50,000, which is pretty amazing. And look how happy he is, very emotional. Thanks everyone for staying with us throughout this event. It was a very long week, but action-packed, and it was amazing to find this really new and happy champion known as Tomás Hermes.
Yep, sorry for the cut. That's Melo just on the side. He's a happy camper as well, and this is your finals. It was not the best final you could have expected on this. We had some really good wave on the second day in the afternoon, and sadly, well, the swell died out a little. We still had wave enough to do the contest, and I think the timing was right. So we're gonna try to organize all this little presentation for the guys to get their title, their points, their celebration, and eventually the cash, because that's solid money for these guys. And this is right now, with the global crisis, a really good help for all these surfers, because prime events are expensive to get to, but eventually if you do good, you get good. So that's the official scores of the last final of the day for this Sata Airlines Azores Pro 213, and the beautiful trophy in the shape of a whale tail, because we have packed oceans with whale tails here in the Azores, right?
A lot of whales. It's one of the most cool things to do while in the islands. There's a lot of whale watching opportunities and other stuff too. These are the four best placed surfers in the event, and Tomás Hermes, the winner, is the shortest one, and this is a very cool image. They are all pretty happy. It looks like Mitch Cruz is over the loss, and Carlo Andino is not sad at all. Adam Melling, it will take him some more time to recover from that one, but Tomás Hermes wearing one of the hugest smiles, and he's very happy. And I think he's still in his belief.
Yeah, it's like he's on cloud 9. He's just like happy and smiling. He can't actually breathe. This guy with the yellow jersey is Mitch Cruz. He got third again after third place in Balito versus Julian Wilson and Jory Smith, and another good result for Mitch Cruz. So these guys on the stage on really different areas of the ranking, but that was a solid event and maybe a game changer for guys like Mitch Cruz, who, thanks to his third place, will pocket a massive 4,225 points. He's in yellow just behind Thomas, and he's on his way to qualify. Still a few points to add up, because the cut is around 15 to 16,000 points so far. Alejo Muniz from the World Tour got a little scared on the last few days with ankle and a knee injury, but eventually went to surf his quarterfinals and got enough points to possibly qualify. Colohe Andino got a really, really strong hit, one of the most exciting hits of the event so far, versus event number 2 and runner-up Adam Melling on the last dying seconds. Again, some excellent surfing, but not the high-flying surfing we've seen on the previous events. No trip rides, no big airs, just proper contest surfing. As our event announcer on the beach, David Prescott, is getting ready with the officials and surfers. Tomás Hermes is actually not touching the floor; he's in proper levitation.
And we are soon gonna cut it to the area award, the area giving award, the award giving area. Sorry for that, and a lot of people happy in that stage, and a lot of sponsors. Thank you so much to everyone for being with us. David Prescott just trying to decide and eventually finish off the event.
So thank you guys. We're gonna just cut to David Prescott, and we will see you guys soon. It was a great pleasure to work with you. Sorry for all the mess up, and Diogo, that was great to work with you. See you guys later. I'm Julien Vico Amel, Diogo Alpine alongside, and thank you guys. It was a good event, and kudos to Tomás Hermes.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much, Vico, too. It was a long week. And Tomás Hermes is the new winner of the Sata Airlines Azores Pro 2013. Congrats, everyone. We're going to cut it to the award-giving ceremony. See you soon.
A todo o staff, eu vejo aqui alguns neste momento que esteve envolvido e são todos eles também aqui da praia, também aqui de São Miguel. Uma enorme salva de palmas para eles. Sem eles isto não seria possível. Muito obrigado a todos, malta. São amigos e são família. Quero agradecer também ao restaurante do Catulá que nos esteve a receber durante a semana e que recebem-nos com imensa simpatia. E agora queria fazer um agradecimento especial e a maior salva de palmas de todas, por favor, aos bombeiros que nos têm ajudado e que têm perdido a vida nos últimos meses a combater os nossos fogos. Para os nossos bombeiros, uma enorme salva de palmas, por favor. Muito obrigado. Agradecer também os apoios locais do Grupo Marques, também da Polícia Marítima, da Trânsito Soares e do Corpo dos Açores. Passando agora aos nossos patrocinadores principais, muito obrigado à Sata por mais uma vez acreditar no surf aqui assim nos Açores e trazer-nos. Obrigado à Sata, este é o Sata Azores Airlines Pro. Sem eles não seria possível. Aqui representados pelo Dr. António Gomes Menezes, a quem agradecemos uma vez mais. Agradecer também à mais Empresa Municipal de Ribeira Grande e ao Sr. Presidente, Dr. Ricardo Silva. Muito obrigado a todo o staff da Câmara, desde o primeiro dia. À Small que nos refrescou e refresca desde 1954. E um especial agradecimento, é claro, à MOSH e à MEL. Há o MOSH Series, que vai valer $50 mil para... são 3 eventos. Este é o primeiro 3, o Prime aqui dos Açores. Depois temos o evento em Peniche do World Tour e o Prime Carcavelos. O surfista que tiver os 2 melhores resultados nestes 3 recebe $50 mil. Guys, if you don't know, there's $50,000 to grab for the best 2 results out of 3 from this event. The World Tour event in Peniche and the last Prime in Carcavelos. That's from MOSH. $50,000 extra, so that's a good thing for you guys. Agradecer também à Mel, que esteve aqui presente na praia. Se não fosse a Mel e o MOSH, este evento não estaria a ser transmitido para todo o mundo. Foi graças à Mel e ao MOSH que tivemos a transmitir o evento em direto na RTP, na Fuel TV, mas não só. Por exemplo, também na Time Warner nos Estados Unidos e via internet, onde tivemos centenas de milhares de acessos todos os dias. Muito obrigado à MOSH e muito obrigado ao Mel. Sem eles não seria possível. Muito obrigado e uma grande salva de palmas para eles. Estamos quase a chegar ao momento da cerimónia. Agradecendo também ao Plano Pro Convergência Açores, ao Fundo Europeu de Desenvolvimento Regional da União Europeia e a todos os nossos media partners, mas a todos os jornalistas que se colocaram aqui à praia, mas em particular a Rádio RFM, também ao canal FM, que vai fazer diretos aqui na praia durante todos os dias. Obrigado à RTP, 2 horas todos os dias na RTP Açores, à Surf Total, à On Fire, à Surf Portugal, à Pure Feeling, ao Jornal I, ao beachcamp.pt, ao Hotel VIP, onde estivemos confortavelmente instalados, nesta que é uma organização da DAS Eventos e da Atlantic Action Sports. A todos, muito obrigado. Vamos já passar então a aplaudir os vencedores. Antes disso, lembrar só, os mais jovens, quinta-feira uma prova às 11 horas. Toda a gente está convidada, sub-16, inscrevam-se aqui na escola de surf. E para os mais jovens, toda a gente está convidada, rapazes e raparigas. A estrutura vai ser a mesma. Vamos então passar à entrega de prémios. Começamos pelo terceiro classificado. Vou pedir à doutora Isabel Corte Real, a quem agradeço uma vez mais o apoio, todo o apoio dado pelo MOSH ao surf nacional ao longo destes últimos anos. Terceiro classificado em Seco. Tem que começar, I have to start from one of you guys. Equal third. Mitch, here we go. Mitch Cruz. Para entregar o prémio ao outro terceiro classificado em Seco, vou pedir ao Dr. Ricardo Silva, Presidente da Câmara Municipal de Ribeira Grande, uma salva de palmas. Olá, Andino! O Dr. António Gomes Menezes, em representação da Sata, o Sr. Presidente, vai entregar o prémio ao segundo classificado. Surfou muito. Thank you so much. Adam Mellen! Campeão, vai puxar pela goela também para falar, que fala português, do Sata Airlines Pro 2013. Aqui nos Açores, Tomás Hermes Brasil! Esqueci de referir que leva 40 mil dólares para casa, leva 6.500 pontos. E agora vou perceber um bocadinho o vosso silêncio e ver se o Tomás, ele surfa muito melhor do que eu, deixa lá ver os dotes dele de comentador. Tomás, temos sem micro. Açores trata muito bem o Brasil também tem tratado bem os Açores. O ano passado foi o Messias, teve aqui uma vitória muito emotiva, espetacular. A tua também foi muito emotiva. Se queres dar uma palavra para todo esse povo que tem apoiado. Micro. Está a funcionar? Bom, pelo menos o resto do mundo consegue te ouvir via internet também.
Então tá legal.
Fala alto para toda a gente ouvir.
Queria agradecer a todo mundo, minha família em casa, minha mulher, a William, Gessé, toda a galera do Brasil, Ianzinho, toda a galera do Brasa, muito obrigado. A todos os portugueses, país vizinho, português, a mesma língua. Queria agradecer a todos vocês que torceram bastante por mim, senti bastante a energia de todos quando eu estava na final. E só tenho a agradecer, cara, isso que é muito importante. Eu acho que todos os últimos 3 eventos aqui, o Brasil ganhou, então, cara, eu fico muito me sinto gratificante ter esse título, é meu primeiro título do circuito. E, cara, obrigado a todo mundo que fez isso aqui acontecer junto comigo.
Por hoje, em termos de surf é tudo, mas na quinta-feira vamos fazer uma brincadeira para os mais pequenos, como já informei, a partir das 11 horas, podem se inscrever, mas para a semana voltamos com seleções, as melhores seleções europeias, para disputarem 7 dias o Eurosurf. Vai ser aqui na praia também, estão todos convidados, a partir já de sábado que vem. Muito obrigado a todos, obrigado uma vez mais a Açores, obrigado a Santa Bárbara, até para a semana. Aloha!
Isto é para ti, para entregar com o dedo. 2 livros mesmo. Para entregar com o dedo. Vem o Gonçalo. Está ali já. Já. Aqui. Tirar isto aqui também. Com licença. Obrigado.
Estivemos a acompanhar a consagração da festa no pódio. Vitória então para Tomás Hermes, que conseguiu. estivemos a acompanhar a consagração da festa. Thomas Hermes foi então o grande vencedor desta edição 2013 do Sata Azores Pro, prova de qualificação ao circuito mundial, ele que bateu na final Adam Melling, que era apontado como um dos favoritos à vitória, mas aqui o fator experiência não valeu de nada e a vitória sorriu mesmo ao brasileiro, Paulo, que consegue conseguir aqui um bom resultado, quem sabe o melhor este ano na carreira do brasileiro.
Vai ser difícil ultrapassar isto. O Tomás Hermes obviamente vai lembrar este fantástico Sata Airlines Azores Pro 2013 durante muitos anos da sua vida. É uma daquelas histórias para contar aos netos. Ele que ficará também conhecido como o Tombas Gigantes, uma competição que decorreu durante 5 dias sem parar, sempre com boas ondas, vamos ser sinceros. Obviamente que o mar podia ter sido muito melhor, mas é a única coisa que nós não controlamos. A organização do Rodrigo Herédia da AS Eventos esteve ao melhor nível, quer dizer, é daquelas provas que marcam uma época que vamos fazer desejar durante muito mais tempo regressar aos Açores para ter o surf mundial ao mais alto nível. Mas para falar disso, nada melhor do que o próprio vencedor, não é?
Exatamente, e é com ele que vamos falar agora. Thomas Hermes, no início da competição não esperava naturalmente por este resultado.
Não, eu vim totalmente, na verdade, pensando por bateria, não pensei em nenhum momento em vencer o evento, eu apenas pensei em passar cada bateria por bateria.
De qualquer forma, deixou pelo caminho os seus compatriotas Felipe Toledo, também Miguel Pupo, ora atletas que integram o circuito mundial. O Thomas ainda procura um lugar ao sol, portanto foi tac a tac, mas conseguiu provar que ainda tem muito a provar aqui neste WQS.
Não, claro, com certeza. Essa foi minha primeira vitória dentro do WQS, dentro do circuito mundial. E os brasileiros sempre vão muito bem, cara. Sempre surfam muito bem esse estilo de onda aqui. Não é à toa que nos últimos 3 eventos que teve aqui nos Açores, os últimos 3 o Brasil ganhou. Então, cada bateria com o brasileiro é super difícil, porque todo mundo é super competitivo e sabe surfar muito bem esse estilo de onda. Então, as baterias com o Miguel Pupo e com o Felipe Toledo foi realmente, acho que, uma das mais difíceis do campeonato.
Qual é a importância da vitória nesta prova na sua carreira?
Pra mim é super especial, cara. Além de ser minha primeira vitória dentro do circuito mundial, já tinha feito algumas finais, mas nunca ganhado. Então, pra mim tá sendo assim, incrível essa primeira vitória, super importante. Eu não estava muito bem no ranking, agora eu vou conseguir dar um pulo bem grande no ranking, isso vai ser super importante pro resto do ano.
Com o objetivo de chegar ao circuito mundial, naturalmente?
Até então eu não estava com o objetivo de chegar ao circuito mundial, porque realmente não tinha feito nenhum resultado muito forte. Agora, quem sabe no final do segundo tempo a gente possa estar ali brigando, tem poucas etapas ainda, mas eu acredito que eu vou estar ali. Acho que vou estar no mesmo foco que eu estava aqui, sem estar pensando em entrar no circuito mundial, mas sim estar trabalhando o meu melhor.
Muito bem, parabéns Thomas Hermes, ele que leva para casa $40 mil e 6.500 pontos preciosos para o ranking do WQS. Parabéns, é o grande vencedor então desta edição 2013 do Sata Azores Pro, prova de qualificação ao circuito mundial. Vamos agora ver os melhores momentos da final que opôs então Thomas Hermes com Adam Melling. Estou. Ficámos com os melhores momentos da final que ditou a vitória do brasileiro Thomas Hermes, que consegue assim levar para casa um cheque de $40 mil e preciosos 6.500 pontos para o ranking do WQS. Ele que bateu na final Adam Melling, que era apontado como um dos favoritos à vitória. Este ano a etapa açoriana da qualificação ao circuito mundial regressou com o estatuto de Prime. Tivemos dentro d'água 14 atletas que integram o circuito mundial. Destaque também para a participação de 6 portugueses. 5 deles ficaram pelo caminho na primeira eliminatória eliminatória, com destaque para Tiago Pires e o açoriano Jacomo Correia. Lembro que Frederico Moraes foi o único português que conseguiu a passagem à segunda eliminatória. São as despedidas deste Sata Azores Pro. Paulo Cunha, um abraço, até para o ano.
Um abraço, estamos de regresso em 2014, estamos de regresso também dentro de uma semana para o Eurosurf e o obrigado a todos que nos acompanharam, quer na Fuel TV, quer na RTP Açores e também nos diferidos.
Um abraço, até à próxima.
Aloha!